Irresponsible Ghost Story Hour.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the intro. Also, I craved blood, so I got some in between episodes here. Blood!
Blood orange. Half blood, half orange.
Well, if you're going to ruin the... Yes, it's blood orange flavored San Pellegrino. Expensive fruit drink. It's good. But hey, don't worry about that. Everyone else at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, lending an empty feeling of isolation to the place.
How was it? Interesting?
Tomatake-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. He should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were. I should have kept watch outside with you, Tomatake-san. Tomatake-san laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings. Aren't you glad you got me out of the way while you went to go capture Mion, so I'm gonna find her dead tomorrow? Aren't we all happy about this? This is so nice.
How did you fare, Shion-chan? Were you scared? I was prepared for it, so I wasn't too afraid, but seeing the real thing was powerful.
Excuse me. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. I also feel like I should remind everyone that, remember, this is the narrator that convinced himself a pen was a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So even when he's looking at a thing full of stuff here, like, we still got to remember that he's filtering it through what he expects and is primed to see. So we need to, like, have a kind of reasonable suspicion at what Keiichi assumes is happening here. It seems like everyone kind of, like, ganged him and got him distracted for a good 30 minutes or so while something else was happening, so...
I just like Shion's reaction, like, well, you know, I was expecting it to be full of weird torture tools, so I wasn't that scared by the weird torture shed. That's the thing that I expected.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, who among us hasn't, you know, been prepared to go in a shed of torture tools? She really had been quite afraid, but seeing as how I was in a way worse a state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomatake-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself.
Was Takano-san an adult about this little expedition? You know how she seems like a child sometimes.
Oh, sometimes, huh?
I was worried she'd be way too excited.
Both Shion and I laughed, and that was left that as our answer.
Hopefully she was only looking at things. I'm worried she'll sneak something out of there or mess with a ritual implement too much and break it or something.
Right, that's quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket. Or her paper bag that she... Get a purse, woman! The first time it rains, your notebook is gonna get soaked and you're gonna be like, what? I had no one to blame but myself for this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Shion said what I was thinking.
You're sure she didn't break anything? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. I'm sorry, I ran out of film. Jiro-san, if you have any more, could I use some?
Takano-san suddenly reappeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomatake-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature.
I'm all out of spare film. Sorry about that. Geez, you won't win any Pulitzer Prizes by not stocking enough film for any occasion, you know. I suppose that's it then.
Tomatake-san scratched his head apologetically. I bet he purposely brought just enough to get her in the door, so she would get in the door, and then not enough so that way she'd be able to go back.
Yeah.
Jiro seems like that kind of boyfriend. Like, I know I can't stop you from doing this, but I can prevent you from doing it more. Without film, we're done here. Takano-san seemed to have given up because of that as well. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, closed the door, and turned the heavy padlock we'd left beside it.
Takano-san, you didn't sneak anything out, right? How rude. I'm trying not to be that childish.
At least she can admit it about herself.
No comment on whether I succeeded.
Kerclack. Tomitake set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves have snuck in at all.
Okay, let's get over to the stream ourselves. If we don't at least set some cotton afloat, there won't be any point in coming to the festival.
Tomitake-san spoke brightly, urging us all onwards. Setting cotton afloat down the stream, I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Takano-san, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse.
Let's just leave it at that, alright? You saw enough to sate your curiosity, didn't you? Oh, not at all. Everything I found only renewed my interests. All those stories and legends suddenly hold water. After today, I'm going to have to change the way I look at all this.
Wow, she is truly indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else. Still interested in all this through and through. We descended the stone stairs, and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over.
Damn, I missed my chance to photograph the best part of Watanagashi. Oh, but it's not too late. I'm going to go and set some afloat. Perhaps you could take pictures of me?
Takano-san, with an impish expression, brought her head to Tomitake-san's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomitake-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman.
Goodbye then, Maebara-kun, Shion-chan. We're going down to the stream. Would you like to come with us? No, I couldn't get in your way. Please, take your time.
Please take me with you. No, don't leave me. She's gonna make me do gross things like hold hands or maybe like smooch.
I also love that Takano has just been like, goodbye, both of you. And Tomitake is like, we're going down to the stream. Would you like to come with us? Where it's just like, one of this pair is like, oh, what happens next? And the other one's like, I've decided what you're doing next.
Right, I'm done. I'm done with this interaction, so goodbye. Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Tomitake-san, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but, well, whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps.
I'm pretty worn out.
Same here. I'm exhausted, too.
Kei-chan, this is your first Watanagashi, isn't it? You go on, don't mind me. I'm tired, so I'd like to stay away from the crowd.
Yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony.
My sister and your other friends might be looking for you, too. Go on.
Oh yeah, right, of course. They've been by themselves ever since we got separated. I feel bad if they were looking for me. Also, weren't they supposed to do some big competition in front of the whole town tonight?
Yeah, I guess that didn't happen.
Then Shion suddenly got a playful look on her face, but then put her index finger up to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret.
My sister is the type that gets really jealous. If she knew I was hogging you this whole time, she'd never let me hear the end of it, so keep tonight a secret, okay?
Keep tonight a secret, huh? Don't say things that are so embarrassing.
Not only because of that, either. Considering what we were doing tonight, we really need to keep it secret. Oyashiro-sama's curse might happen tonight, and we four would be the prime candidates.
The loosening threads of tension became taut once more. Shion, however, burst out laughing.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here before I run into my sister. I really am tired, so I don't have the endurance to put up with her anyway.
What do you mean put up with? She puts up with you. I can't tell if you get along with her or not.
We get along.
Though as she said that, her vague expression explained that there were a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins. I'm an only child, so I don't really get it. Make sure you get along with her, all right?
Right. Thank you kindly for your meddling. Okay, I'm gonna go. You should hurry up if you want to make it, Kei-chan. Watanagashi really is about to end.
Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me.
Seriously, though, what was that sound anyway? It was kind of unpleasant and creepy.
Huh? What sound?
The sound. You know, the banging noise. It was really loud, wasn't it?
It's been... We took a day off of recording. Was there a banging noise?
I don't remember.
I remember her reacting to something at some point.
Oh.
Right? But it was something that none of us could hear, and I joked that she had a beeper on vibrate or something.
Yes.
Was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at her as well. I'm sorry, Shion, could you give me the short version? What was making noise?
Wait, Kei-chan, it didn't bother you?
When all said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages. Shion, explain it to me without jokes from the beginning, will you? What is this about a noise?
Kei-chan, you quit joking around too, really. Honestly, it didn't bother you?
Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at one another in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her and ask politely one more time. I'm going to ask one more time, all right? I'll ask the questions. Shion nodded silently. All right, here goes. You said there was a sound. What are you talking about?
The banging sound. It was like a kid was jumping up and down on floorboards somewhere far away.
Jumping up and down on floorboards somewhere far away.
Tomitake also described that, and nobody reacted.
Did he just earlier in this?
Yeah, earlier in this scene, he was like, "Oh, sounded like someone jumping up and down," and no one responded in any way.
Weird. Okay. I probably wouldn't have put that together just because of the gap between the two scenes, and it's not fresh in my mind anymore. But yeah, that's fucked up. There was nothing to be bothered by. When did you hear this? I never heard anything.
Wait, Kei-chan, are you serious?
Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further, her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about, but if it has Shion acting like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps and sent a chill down my spine.
It was while we were looking around the inside of the ritual storehouse with Takano-san. About the time she started her stories, I think it was. Little by little, louder and louder, off and on.
She heard a banging sound like a child jumping on distant floorboards. That can't be true. Don't start trying to scare me after all that. I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening.
Please don't try to scare me either, Kei-chan. It was like something was making noise in time with Takano-san's scary stories, and I was totally creeped out the whole time.
The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over.
You and Takano-san weren't paying any attention to it at all, so I pretended not to hear it either, but you heard it, right? It happened a bunch of times, and it was really loud.
It was really loud. So, Tomitake described it as distant.
Yep.
But Shion is describing it as close and really loud. We didn't hear it. At least, as Keiichi claims not to have heard it. I don't know if there was something in the I don't know if there was something going on with the audio design that might have been when I do the rewatch on this one, I'll have to pay attention to see if there was something else there. Because the only thing I remember is her reacting to seemingly nothing.
Yep.
Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes suggested something entirely different. A "you've got to be kidding" look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools. They looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. Oh, wait, hold on. I wonder if it's one of those weird acoustic things.
Could be.
Like, that's the only explanation. Either she and Tomitake are trying to bullshit something, or it is one of those genuinely weird acoustic properties. It'd be weird for a random storehouse, but maybe it's the case that she was standing at the perfect spot to be hearing something going on, like the reflected sound from something going on somewhere else, right?
We even it's also not that uncommon. We even have that here in this apartment in our bathroom.
What do you mean?
There's times when you can hear like building sounds of a loud humming if you put your head in the storage area next to the toilets that you can't hear if your head is like 3 feet away.
Yeah, but like the times when it like happens to be like just a space in air, because she wasn't standing in like next to a particular object, or as far as we know, it's just she was standing in the middle of the room with them. So that's kind of where my mind went. But yeah, you're right. So maybe there is some weird acoustic property of the building.
Could very well be.
Yeah, that's a cold read on that. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. Would that make Shion, who had heard it, tremble? Or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made that decision before I did. What are you laughing about?
I really got you, Kei-chan. I was fibbing the whole time.
What? So did she hear Tomatake? No, because we saw her react. And then Tomatake mentioned it specifically. She heard it and is now playing it off because she thinks that Keiichi is being weird.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know why.
Seems like it.
Yeah. I'm inclined to believe that did happen. And now she's playing it off to try to keep herself safe because she doesn't know. Because she thinks Keiichi is bald-faced lying about this. And she doesn't know why. What? Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was and clapped me on the back. Her smile seemed somehow artificial and actually made me feel worse. And then after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. All I could do was look after her with my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Tomatake-san said the same thing, didn't he?
I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous.
Tomatake-san, the most neutral party present at the time, had said that he'd heard something. And then that noise. It was real? The banging sounds. Sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards far away. Oishi-sama's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano-san, Tomatake-san, Shion, and me. The bustling of the people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, and yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted into my mind. And then all of a sudden I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch.
Keiichi, we found you!
It was Rika-chan. When I turned around, Mion and Rena were there too.
We finally found you. Now we just need to find Sadako. Everyone got split up this year. We should make sure we have somewhere to meet up afterwards next year. You're right. It's a festival, so we should all be together.
I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
Keiichi, did you root for me while I was dancing?
Yes, I did. I saw it all. You did a great job all the way through. No mistakes either.
Yeah, that's right, Rika-chan. That didn't count as a mistake.
I tensed up as I realized I made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body.
Did you do it too, Kei-chan? Did you get some cotton and send it down the stream?
You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head.
Huh? You haven't, Keiichi-kun? You should go now or it'll be over. It'll be over.
I'm sorry. This is my first Watanagashi, so I don't really understand the rules and stuff.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Mion took my hand as we started walking down the stone steps.
Hey, Kei-chan.
What's up?
Did you see Shion?
My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand. No, oh well, I sort of think I saw her. You two look so alike, though I thought it might have been you.
You wouldn't have gotten that wrong. We're wearing different clothes.
Oh, that's right. Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me.
I just can't do anything about that Shion. Well, it's her we're talking about, so we can just leave her be.
Mion's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Interesting. We knew that there was some tension between the two of them leading up to tonight. But, okay, new
But
tip.
they get along.
Yeah, they get along
Shion
so
says
well.
they get along.
Shion says they get along, and I am inclined to agree. Let's view the tips. 4, 5, and then after the festival. So this is Mio's scrapbook, right?
Yeah. Should I read it then?
Yeah.
Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now, but reading back to its origin turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony. Originally, Watanagashi would happen at certain intervals, and after receiving Oyashiro-sama's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Then, the entire village would kidnap, demon away, the person, and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determined the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune-telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onigafuchi village firmly believed that they were half-man, half-demon transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were. And they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of, the villagers of the isolated Onigafuchi village, in case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were.
I see. So keeping the rabble-rousers in line.
Just give everyone the chance to go dismember and eat a guy once every couple years.
So it's the purge.
Yeah.
It's the purge, but for cannibalism. That checks out.
The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and there definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. The obvious question, then, is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, obtained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there.
Or it goes on to planned obsolescence.
Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200-plus implements had some entertainment value. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of that traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. Indeed.
Anyway, where's Sadako? If it's Sadako,
Everyone got split up. Oh no, we gotta make sure we don't get split up next year. Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll be honest. If it's Sadako that winds up dying, I'm going to be so confused.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird,
more than anything else, because it's like... Because then my whole framing of... It sounds like these might have been the people involved with the Onigafuchi Defense League. That just completely falls apart. Either that was wrong from the beginning, or this is some other person acting and continuing the curse on with a different set of priorities. Late that night, tensions at the police station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him.
Oishi-san, I've got the autopsy results. The court physician just got here. I'm ready to go, sir. I'll head straight for the burned body's location.
Kuma-chan, things have gotten a bit complicated. They appear to be having a very difficult time determining who the victim is.
Could they have been dismembered?
Nope. Cooked to a nice light brown. He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh.
All the way? Head to toe?
Completely blackened, it seems. Probably smells terrible, too. Wasn't Mio just talking about that specific way of...
She sure was. She was talking a whole lot about killing people in that particular way.
What a shame it is to be Gifu-san. Cooked with no possessions, then discarded outside the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they'd sniffed it out tonight was huge. Komayama-kun and a few others are performing a thorough night raid on the dentist in Okinomiya. All I can do is hope a tooth matches or some medical records. We're raiding the place rather than knocking and trying to get the guy awake or with a phone call. Sorry about that. Could someone go buy me 2 or so boxes of strong cigarettes? The young guy answered in affirmation and darted out into the hallway. We did an excellent job finding it this year. Could be that people who had disappeared in past years were scattered outside the prefecture like this too, eh? Oh, hold on, that's...
We did an excellent job finding it this year. It could be that the people who disappeared in past years were scattered outside the prefecture like this too.
Why aren't we burying them or sinking them into the Sea of Japan or Lake Biwa or somewhere like that?
Why, though? Hasn't the pattern so far been one person dies and another disappears?
Kuma-chan, the corpse was inside an oil drum, unrestrained and cooked. They probably burned them after strangling them. They knew it would be found.
So what you mean is from the beginning they didn't want a person to disappear this year?
Not so much that as they just aren't related. The person didn't disappear. In fact, whoever did it seems to have wanted to make a show of it.
You mean it could be a warning?
He folded his arms and then heaved a long and heavy sigh. That might have been the case if it had happened in town. They messed up. Taking the victim far away and burning them alive wouldn't have been noticed. They meant it as a warning. They should have done it closer to Hinamizawa. They wanted to emphasize the fact that they killed the victim, but instead of doing it somewhere for dramatic effect, they did it outside the prefecture. Did they want to emphasize it or hide it? Boy, I do wonder what Oyashiro-sama is up to this year. A telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the receiver.
Oishi-san, it's Komiyama. They have it. The dental clinic at Okinomiya fixed the wisdom tooth 3 years ago.
Wisdom teeth? What about the records?
Complete with x-rays.
Well, I feel bad for waking up the dentist before dawn, Kuma-chan. Get out there as soon as you get the records from Komiyama-kun.
Will do. No, it's the chief. Thank you for coming out at this hour.
Oh, no, that's...
Oh.
Oh, well, it's the chief. Well, thank you for coming out at this hour.
Oh, Ishii-san, my apologies for my lateness. What's the situation?
Well, it's just getting good, you see. We're all getting fired up here. Wahoo!
So who do you think it is? And what do you think's going on? They're only describing one body. It seems really different than the last one we heard of.
Yeah, because like it does seem that circumstances were different. I don't know. I'm still going with my initial guess. It's Mion.
Okay.
Gonna drop a save here just in case. Don't want to get a game over. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom said at breakfast, she gave me a pained smile.
What's the matter, Keiichi? What time did you go to sleep last night?
I wanted to go to sleep at midnight, but I had some trouble with that.
You were probably all worked up from the festival.
No, that's not it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday and our discussion about the sound Shion heard, that banging noise like a child far away, jumping up and down on a wooden floor, the story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at the slight sounds of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. Wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth is a kid thing, right?
Is it? I don't think I got mine out until... Well, no, I did get mine out in high school.
But like a teenager thing.
I don't know. I think it depends. Because it's not like baby teeth that are coming out at a set time. Like some people never have to get their wisdom teeth out?
That might be
like
true.
You only have to do it if it gets impacted.
Yeah.
Did you have to get yours out?
Yeah.
Mine sucked.
Yeah, had little pockets back there for a while in my gums, and I was like, this feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, I hated that, and the healing was very slow and not effective. But also, I made the huge mistake of going to someone's birthday party at Chili's, like either the day after or the night of the morning that I got them out.
You poor sod.
And it's like,
oh, that's awful. Why would you do that?
Don't go eat spicy salsa at Chili's when you have wisdom tooth removal mouth wounds. That's my life tip for you. It's a bad idea. You won't like it.
APR life tip. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far from refreshed this morning.
Keiichi-kun, good morning. I'm alive still. Huh? Keiichi-kun, your eyes are all red. Why is that? Why?
Oh, hey, good morning. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm kind of sleep deprived today.
The festival yesterday was a lot of fun. Rena's excitement took a long time to go to sleep, so I took a long time to go to sleep too. To sleep.
In Rena's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide awake. Ugh, they should have this kind of festival. Oh.
They should have this kind of festival more often, so we can have lots of fun together again.
Yeah. Rena talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten from last night. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so utterly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. Why am I saying it like Oishi now? All of these stories that Takano-san told me as well. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one would disappear. The old stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onagafuchi village. The villagers with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages. Victims of the Onikakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices, there were also many, many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either. They were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real, though, since it all happened so long ago. Such a very, very long time ago.
Where's Mi-chan? She's late.
Oh, they were in the cabin from Heaven Will Be Mine. That's where they were at. Huh? Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we'd usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought. We agree that if she isn't here by now, we can just go on ahead, right? Should we? Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't have been Mion.
What should we do, Keiichi-kun? If we don't get going, we'll be late.
Oh, well, she'll be here. She didn't call to tell us she'd be staying home today, right? Let's just wait 5 more minutes, okay? Rena looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. Huh. We had to wait 5 minutes. We'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we'd spotted Mion running towards us out of breath. Mi-chan, you're late! Oh, that was...
Mi-chan, you're late. You waited? You should have just gone on ahead.
Mion was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Her house was right down this road, wasn't it? It wasn't far enough away for her to end up like this, was it?
But they gave you the moment to think she was dead, though.
Yeah.
They gave you the moment.
They gave me the moment.
Mi-chan, are you not feeling well?
Well, now that she mentioned it, Rena pushed Mion's bangs away and put her hand to her forehead.
Rena, your hand is pretty cold. Mi-chan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle.
Are you really all right? You don't have to push yourself, you know.
What's this? Kei-chan, are you worried about me? That's nice of you.
That answer wasn't like Mion at all. I was just noticing that this doesn't feel very Mion. She must have had it pretty bad. No. Oh, Mion died and Shion's taking her place so no one notices. Oh, Shion. If you don't call... Here's the thing. If she doesn't call herself this old man before the end of the day, then we'll know something's up.
I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working.
Mion forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us. All right, then, let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's, the time.
What? We need to run or we won't make it. This morning sure is thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this slowness. Let's run.
Hey, wait, you're sick! Don't go overboard! Mion began to run vigorously anyway.
Mi-chan is older than us, right? She knows her own body better than anyone.
I decided to leave it at that and assume she was fine. Well, then we should get going as well. We began to run after Mion.
Who's not going to show up?
The school looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly and my lack of sleep took its toll. There was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I'd be world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. If you're holding your pencil upside down, that wouldn't happen now, would it?
Oh, fond memories of falling asleep in school, literally in the middle of a sentence.
It's so, like, there are studies about this. It doesn't help kids learn to be in school that early, to not get that much sleep. The only reason we do it that way is because that happens to bracket the normal 9 to 5 working hours.
Gotta love it.
Bump, 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 bump. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times. Oh, what was that for, Sadako?
Hey, they found her.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, she's fine. Don't be... If it was the gremlin, I would have been so sad. Don't tell me what chat... I know it's gonna happen. It shouldn't, but I'm sure it will. But if the gremlin... No. Protect her.
I haven't done a single thing.
Who else would play a prank on me like this? Oh, it was chalk, not an eraser. Huh? Behind me, like a female outlaw might hold razors, was the teacher's shadow, holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Maebara-kun, go and wash your face. Right, gladly. That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. We haven't seen Rika yet.
We haven't.
If I was going to wash my face anyway, I'd rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance.
Did you ever have the cool professor in college who would bring coffee and mugs?
No, I don't think so. Holy shit.
There was one person in the department who incentivized attending the group studies and late afternoon classes that people would normally skip by, he'd just bring in the coffee machine and like 24 mugs and have them set up on the table. And it's like, yeah, as long as you participate in class, the coffee refills don't stop. You just have to participate and stay awake.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the secret technique, isn't it? If you want to get a teenager or a college student to come to something, free pizza or free coffee. That's... The sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it was June. I turned the faucet and with a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. I let it run for a few moments. Would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while.
I knew you'd choose these sinks, Kei-chan. The ones out front just feel better, don't they?
Huh? Mion? Oh, what are you doing here? Little cutting class now. Took my hands into the water to find it had gotten so cold, it seemed strange it had ever been warm. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same. Hey Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleeping because of the medicine, not from lack of sleep, right?
Huh? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit.
A bit. She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth, which means you didn't have a cold or anything. Are you hung over? How old are you? No, really, how old are you? The wiki won't tell me.
Give me a break. I really don't feel well, you know.
I suppose she'd be feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different ways. I was worried over nothing. Ugh, I guess it's just like you, Mion. She scratched her head a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time, after all.
Oh, but my head really is pounding, so the teacher told me I should go home early.
Ugh, you cheater. You going home now, Mion? I looked again. Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home.
Yep. I feel bad about it, though. I'll get some rest at home like a good girl. Sorry I can't make it to the club. Would you take over as leader for today, Kei-chan?
I don't know if that'll happen. We have that unspoken rule where we don't do the club unless everyone's there, don't we? Never did it when you had to go to your part-time job, huh? Mion laughed wryly, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is the sign of a really fantastic friendship. Did you not know about the special rule, Mion? I'm sorry, Shion. Did you not know about the special rule where they don't hold club if not everyone's there? Come on. If you're gonna impersonate your sister, at least be convincing. In that sense, the club Mion had created was a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed face dried up. Suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom soon, I could get in trouble. Aight, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? I left it at that, turned around, and started heading back to the classroom.
Oh, one more thing, Kei-chan.
Yeah, what's up? Mion stopped me, and I turned my head to listen. What's up?
This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it.
Well, that depends on what it is, isn't it?
Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomitake-san or Takano-san anywhere?
I suddenly tensed up.
You know Tomitake-san and Takano-san, right? You remember, Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during setup the day before?
Did Mion know about that?
Mion,
Talking during setup the day before.
Mion was there at
Oh,
setup.
right, when because they were there chatting at setup the day before. Right.
Of course, someone else was also there, so...
Yeah, Mion. Mion was there, and then she kind of dipped.
Yep.
And then just left Shion with the two of them. Right. If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not, or was she asking the question knowing that I had? Well, I couldn't tell. Well, maybe? Might have seen them around, I don't know. My vague response was clearly not to her liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know.
I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion?
My heart leapt into my throat once again. The tiny needles buried underneath her words pricked into me. Didn't you ask him that already?
Yeah.
Yeah, you already asked him that. Shion? Why would Mion repeat herself, huh? Huh? Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you I wasn't sure if I had or not.
Huh, did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again.
Good save, Shion. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes, something indescribable. Tomitake-san and Takano-san, Shion too. She was asking me about them. There was no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. Again, she doesn't. You've just assumed this, and now are gonna just roll with it as if that's fact, and never stop to think about, where this assumption came from. Just everybody strap in. We're on for Keiichi's wild ride.
It begins.
So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival there was no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curdled. Mion was almost without a doubt. Aware that we snuck into the storehouse? It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping out the light switch last night. Mion had been searching for me. It's simple to imagine that she had been seeing that momentary light and come to find out what was going on.
Did you really not see her?
Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not?
It's not important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomitake-san, Takano-san, Shion, and you, Kei-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though.
Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud.
I don't believe you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay?
I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself.
Kei-chan, you weren't with Tomitake-san, Takano-san, or Shion, right?
Yeah. I finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths. Mion's expression softened a little.
That's good. I'll have to tell them. You weren't involved in anything bad, Kei-chan, so I'll make sure to tell everyone.
Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure. Everyone. Everyone who... Who is everyone? The cops? What is your angle here? I thought initially, this is Shion pretending to be Mion, trying to make sure that Keiichi is going to stick to his fucking story and not say anything, but, if this is Mion, if this actually is Mion, who is she? And then Tomitake and Takano died again. And maybe also Shion, then she's trying to be like, oh good, you weren't with them, so you're cleared of suspicion. Don't worry, I'll talk to the cops and everything will be fine, because Sonozaki said it. Who's everyone?
Okay, later. I'll be better tomorrow. Bye-bye.
She never said bye-bye. Wait, Mion, what do you mean by everyone? And just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. Hey, you're late, Maebara-kun. How long does it take you to wash your face? It was the teacher. It was taking so long she came out to get me. I'm sorry, I was just talking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it, was now standing at the gate. Come, back to your studies, quickly now. The teacher wasn't being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time, and Mion was nowhere in sight. Teacher told him to go up there.
Keiichi, you haven't seemed well all day. What?
Rika's fine!
Yeah,
Everyone's fine. No one... Mion's a little hungover, but that's it.
yeah.
Everyone lived.
Yep.
It's clearly because you had too much fun yesterday.
I don't want to be told by that by the one who got lost. Your face was all red and you were nearly crying.
Saruko-chan was so cute last night.
My friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day.
Bye, Keiichi-kun. I'll see you tomorrow.
By the time I had realized it, I was in front of my own house. Oh good, I'm blacking out again. This is fine and normal.
Mi-chan had a cold, right? Could you have a cold too, Keiichi-kun? Could you?
Well, I'm fine. I may look scrawny, but I've never missed school because of a cold.
There's a first time for everything. Would you like to?
I'm going to decline to answer your question.
Both you and Mi-chan didn't look so good today, though.
Well, thank you for worrying about me. I am fine. Idiots don't catch colds, remember? Rana smiled, then waved to me and left. Are we going to talk about how weird it was that the teacher told him to go wash his face?
Is it?
Just out of nowhere? Or is she being like, you're falling asleep, go splash some water on your face so you can wake the hell up?
That's what I figured it was. Like, you're clearly falling asleep and have no idea what's going on. Get up, move around, splash your face with some cold water.
Yeah. Although her not even saying anything about Mion when she was leaving was weird.
A little.
A little weird, but not strange. Presumably if she's going home early, she told the teacher and she's like, yeah, we sorted this out. But still, it's a little weird. But on the scale of weird things going on, it is not that high. With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me. Yellow?
Keiichi, I'm sorry, but could you go to the library and return a few books for me?
I don't feel like it.
Your dad and I have to wait inside the house for a phone call right now, so we can't leave. I need to return them today. Could you please do it?
The phone call to go to Tokyo at a moment's notice, right? What a difficult job for the manager? Perhaps? Ugh. Does that have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up. I guess so, but I don't know where the library is.
Oh, you don't? It's a little bit past Okinomiya Station.
Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver.
Hello? Maebara speaking. I'm sorry? Yes, he's right here.
Then she thrust the receiver at my face.
It's for you, Keiichi. Don't take too long, okay?
I tried to ask who it was from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster. Hello?
This is Sonozaki. Well, the younger one. Hello, do you have time to talk right now?
It was Shion. What? Who would... The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger made no reference to it. Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion.
What? Mion had a hangover? That's so like her.
She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me silently, telling me to finish up. Sorry, my parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need?
There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that.
She sounded a little disappointed. What did Shion want to talk to me about? And I was interested. How about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great.
You mean the public library near the station? Yes, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway.
Alright then, you know where I usually meet up with Mion? At that intersection where the small path from the Sonozaki house splits.
Oh, Kei-chan, did I not tell you? I don't live at the main house. I live in Okinomiya. If we could meet by the ticket machines in Okinomiya Station, that would be great.
Main house? Living in Okinomiya? When she mentioned it, it always seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Well, yeah, of course. Were we not meant to assume that?
I think we were already told that explicitly, and Keiichi just didn't pay attention.
I see. Now that she mentioned it, Rena said she never met the younger sister, despite going over to play sometimes. Let's meet at the station then. I'll go there right away. Ciao! Put the receiver down, and Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels.
Of course they would be.
Ah, yes. Yes. Look, the manager is looking for inspiration for how to frame the latest victim. Mom had her own hobbies.
Thank you, Keiichi. Be back by nightfall.
Got it. All right, I'm going. Suppose I change my clothes and grab my bike key. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process. Well, Mio never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly.
Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble.
Huh? Shion seemed a little unsteady, too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? What? No, you just... Where? When did she say that?
She didn't. I think the sentence was meant to be read, she seemed a little unsteady, too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? Like, she seems unsteady. I bet she has a hangover, too.
I see. You didn't get any sleep last night either, did you? Don't try and hide it. You definitely went home from school early.
Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place. I'm smarter than Mion, after all.
Hey, I don't think you'd call playing hooky smarter.
You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right?
Yeah, thank you. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far?
No, it's really close by.
Oh, sweet. Do we get to meet the librarian? As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, then I guess it didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around a bend and the building was right there. Oh, hey! Shishibone Public Library. That has almost the same facade as our library.
Yeah, I feel like there's a certain style of library architecture that a lot of places have.
Yeah. It, like not the campus library. Like I'm talking about the city library, right? Yeah. It's like it's got that kind of red brick vibe to it. I wonder if they were built around the same time and that was just kind of like how people were doing it in the day.
Did I ever show you the library from where I grew up as a little kid?
No.
That one was a really weird one. That one they took a lot of liberties with. I'll show you after.
You should. There were some really cool libraries in the town I grew up in. The first one was in the retrofitted city hall. So it had big ornate columns in the front of it, and it was a little weird getting around on multiple floors, but it was really nice. They wound up moving it out of there into an old across the street a few years later into a retrofitted church that just became a town use building. So it had the library in the back, and then like the part where the main congregation would have been became like a public auditorium. But the building still had like all the church like architecture to it and stuff, and I was like, it was cool. I should take you there sometime.
Yeah,
libraries. Imagine.
They're cool.
They are so cool. I go patronize your public library. No. Yes, patronize, not patronize. Patronize. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. First floor was actually a government office, so the library was only the second floor, but still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. Have we seen this background before?
It looks really similar to one of the other ones, I think.
Okay. Because I just look at this background, I'm like, this feels similar to something.
That was the same feeling I had as soon as it came up.
Yeah. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildewy smell unique to old paper. Well, I guess every library is basically the same. There was one difference, was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory. Hello, I have books I'd like to return. The librarian went through the process of checking them in, then returned my mom's library card. She was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face. Like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very often. Sorry for the wait, I am all done.
Libraries sure are nice and cool, aren't they? I want to work in a library one day.
Wait, really?
I've never seen one of these square paper things, but I think they're neat. I don't know why they have a whole building for them.
Oh, I remember now. That's where I keep my weaponry. I don't know whether to call that boring or dependable. It's a pretty small dream compared to your sister. I really do feel bad for the people who are studying to be like librarians, because you do. It is something you study to do. And then there's just the number of positions and availability for them just keeps going down and down and down. It's...
Yeah. Did I ever mention when I was in high school, that was one of the things I thought maybe I was going to go to college for?
Library science?
Doing a Master of Library Science.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and like... That would have been amazing aside from the fact that there's no chance I would ever have landed a job in the field. So
yeah, absolutely
instead
not.
I studied a different thing where I didn't land a job in the field. So it turns out it didn't matter and I probably should have done that anyway.
It's a pretty small dream compared to your sister. Mia would definitely want to be a hard-working employee for an international trading company or some other crazy job that involved her running all around the world. Would she? Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming.
Well, we need to keep our differences dear to us. We're not copies. We're two different people called Shion and Mion.
Twins have a lot to think about, huh? I got it, okay? You have... Listen, there was a certain amount of comeuppance that I deserved and had coming to me. You have well and truly served me that. Anything past that point is just unnecessary, okay? Still, it sounds like fun. I don't have any brothers, so there's just me and my parents at my house. I already mentioned that I have no siblings. And I'm an only child. Can get a little uncomfortable.
It's the same for me. I don't live with Mion after all.
Yes, this is the third time we've established this. She said something like that, didn't she? Why, though? Sisters living apart is unusual. A government office, huh?
Yeah, we have seen this specific background.
This is in the police station. I don't know if this is just background economical reuse.
Conservation of background.
Or if the government office, the floor below, is the police station, the precinct where Oishi works.
We have that for one of the libraries around here.
Do we?
Yeah, one of the university annex ones, not the main library, but there's an annex one where the back side of the building and the basement are library, and the front side and the ground floor are emergency services, police and ambulance. And it's really weird.
Wait, where is that one? Is that out by like where the helipad is?
Yeah, it's the place I worked for a summer.
Yeah, that's the one that's so far out of the way on campus that like it doesn't feel like you're on campus anymore.
Yeah, and you'd never have any reason to go there unless you're trying to check out a book that no one's cared about since the year of our Lord 1940.
Yeah,
that they somehow haven't gotten rid of yet. Because that's all that's in that one.
Oh man,
the decrepit, outdated medical journals from the 50s and whatever hidden in the basement racks.
Sure. Yeah. Excuse me. Ugh, we were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continuing our conversation.
Yeah, Mion lives at the main house, and I live in Okinomiya.
What do you mean by main house? You make it sound like you're nobility.
It's just the main house, the Sonozaki family's main house. Mion's the successor, so she lives with Nana and apparently studies all sorts of things as preparation to be the head of the family.
Ooh, we got hints. I don't think it's ever been immediately said that she is the successor.
She is the successor. It's just the main house. This is a normal thing, and she's just the successor, which is also a normal thing that a normal family would have.
Again, the thing that was in the gap here was whether or not she had a generation before her.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this makes it sound like her parents aren't around. Because she lives with her grandma, and she is the successor. Not like next in line and next in line. She is the successor.
What's up with Shion then?
She owns the extra kid. She gets to do fuck all, I guess.
Ship her off to Okinomiya to work at the off-brand Hooters.
Yeah, exactly. She gets no respect because she's not the golden child who's destined to be head of the family, so she gets to go work at the fucking distressing maid cafe and have to touch adult men's erections through their pants.
Good times.
Good times.
Not creepy.
Not creepy at all.
It's creepy.
It is creepy. But I don't want to have that conversation again, so we're moving on. Mion, the head of the family. It kind of fit her personality, but it kind of didn't, too.
Kei-chan, you just moved here, right?
Yeah.
This will sound like I'm boasting, but we of the Sonozaki family are kind of personages around here.
Huh? Seriously? The word personage didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area.
The Sonozaki house is a foundation under which the entire family cooperates. Though the current family head grandma was the one who built it.
Oh. She didn't happen to get her funding from a... Did she? The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help a relative's venture succeed one after another using large amounts of money. Okay, so uncle means we're related somewhere. Not you're my dad's brother or my... Right, yeah, okay. It kind of gave that impression, but it's good to have it, like, confirmed. So now we got, like, the shape of that, right?
You know, helping them all avoid certain tax issues and solve business-related problems.
Sure, that's
large amounts of money.
Normal, skeevy rich person stuff, right? If we're going to start blaming every rich person for every pedestrian crime they do, then, God, we just have to put them all in jail, wouldn't we? And no one has that kind of time.
If you ever go for a walk through Okinomiya, pay attention to the signboards and stuff. There's a ton of shops that are managed by members of the Sonozaki family.
Oh, now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. I mean, your relatives operate Angel Mort as well? Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. It was definitely surprising.
The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry either have the last name Sonozaki or are their relatives. There are Sonozakis in the city council and the prefectural assembly too, since they have the Okonomiya area giving them strong electoral support.
Yep, this is all embellishing on things that were very not hinted at. They were like it was said, but this is kind of embellishing on that stuff that we got told last chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting a much fuller picture of what that actually looks like. We knew the Sonozakis had a lot of power locally and including some up to the Diet, but we didn't know what the exact shape of it was. So this is helping give some contours, you know what I mean? Wait a minute, this is all escalating pretty quickly. Relatives operate shops in downtown Okonomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate? On top of that, a lot of those in the Chamber of Commerce and the industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to local offices? So then, the Sonozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area, huh? I knew it!
You called it.
I did. Again, I wasn't gonna bank on it because it could just be economical background reuse, right? But yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man interrupted our conversation. I don't remember the X-Files going that direction, but all right. Wait, I know this guy. Hello, good afternoon. Are you on a date today? Oh, what I wouldn't give to be young again.
If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, Oishi-san?
That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. Thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mio didn't seem to like him very much. No, I apologize. I heard a familiar voice, so I came over to see. Oishi-san left coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion. Maebara-san, right? You are one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, what? I'm not two-timing anyone. What's going on? I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock.
I'm sorry, Kate-chan. I really need to get to my job.
Huh? Oh. Did you? Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk about today? Now this weird old man is here, though. Oh, she's just looking for... I was trying to figure out whether or not she's trying to find a way to exit and get out of Oishi's area. Keiichi be damned. Or if she led him here to set him up. You know what I mean? The thing is, I don't get the feeling that Shion likes Oishi, so I don't think she'd do that for him. I think this is more about, she's like, I don't want to be near the cop. I'll sacrifice Keiichi if it means I can get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's her leading him, because she would have no way of knowing that he needed to go to the library. That was right on top of the police precinct, right? She wouldn't have been able to plan for that.
Yep.
Unless she spoke with Keiichi's mom beforehand. Ow. No, this weird man is here, though.
Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right?
Yeah, probably all right.
Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye.
Shion left so fast she was practically running. Oishi-san was waving at me with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work. You're quite the big shot being so close to the Sonozaki daughters. Maybe I should rethink how I talk to you too. Oishi-san put a coin into a vending machine as he said something a bit appalling. Is iced tea okay with you? Do you want milk in it? Huh? What? Oh no, what? I'll put some in then, is that alright?
This is how
Here
you know you
are.
fucked up. Oishi-san is offering you a drink.
He handed me a cup. Why do I feel like I'm under arrest? He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was he just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he was still engaged me in some conversation about all sorts of dumb things. I thought back to how I talked with Shio, and this seemed like a total disaster. Maebara-san, how much do you know about Sonozaki-san? Other than what I heard just now, basically nothing. Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion other than the fact that they were interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family. The Sonozakis are a Yakuza group with this entire region under their thumb. Plus, her father's a high-ranked executive in the redacted Yakuza Association. So they do have a father. Okay.
Yep, and you were right when you immediately in chapter 1 were like, Yakuza?
Yeah, it's like, it's like, yeah. Literally, just calling it like it is now. Okay, I see.
They're helping their family members with certain business problems involving large sums of money.
They're extorting people, the protection money. Or it's Yakuza shit. Okay, fine. Did you know that? What? An executive? Have you ever seen where Shion-san lives? It's the very picture of a gang's boss's house, protected by high walls, barbed wire fence, and security cameras. If you have the chance, you should go and visit her sometime. She'd mentioned Mion being a successor, but to a Yakuza group? So I read that part wrong then. So she is being groomed to be the successor, but presumably her father would take over first? Or her father... It sounds like the Sonozakis are themselves kind of a subsidiary family of a larger organization.
Possibly.
So maybe her dad has his interest is like handling that, and she's being groomed to take over for her grandma as head of, as like this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get clear on that. Maybe it won't. She's being groomed for a position of authority within the Yakuza.
Yeah,
is the important part.
And now you hear like, oh, helicopters and marksmanship, and you're like, wait, were they not joking?
I didn't think she was joking for a minute. No, not at all, not at all. A born old Yakuza group ain't the only thing Mion Sonozaki-san will inherit. She's inheriting the Sonozaki family itself. I'll leave it to you to mull over what exactly that means. You know, you could just tell me. You don't have to be a dick about this. Person who, I don't know, started up a conversation with me and then is being rude about it. Oishi-san had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable. Inheriting the family itself. I'll leave it to you to mull over what exactly that means. Interesting. She's inheriting the Sonozaki family. Does that mean that she's being groomed specifically to be a wife? Is she being groomed with the expectation that she's going to marry and literally carry on the family?
I don't know.
Am I reading too much into that?
It'd be kind of interesting, though, given that's, typically in I think in Japanese society of the time, like in our societies around that time, that women would typically marry into somebody else's family.
Yeah, but she's the one that's got the last name of a big Yakuza family.
Yeah, maybe they don't have to set something up special.
And they don't seem to have brothers. So, unless I guess her grandmother's the one that's in charge of it now, so maybe they're more progressive than we thought.
Yeah, maybe it's a girl boss Yakuza group.
Hashtag girl boss Yakuza.
Hashtag girl boss, hashtag crime boss.
There we go. If Mion-san wanted to, she could kill someone in the middle of the street and still cover it up. Not only would witnesses not show up, but she'd put pressure on the police too. What? Remember when she said last chapter that she should have killed him?
Yep.
I'm just saying. She wasn't kidding. But Mion would never kill someone. Nah, she wouldn't. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Your name, it was Oishi-san, right? Yeah, that's right, kid. Then, Oishi-san, whatever feeling Mion comes from, it doesn't change the fact that she's the best friend I could ever have. And I'm proud of that. I don't appreciate people speaking ill of her. I let my quiet anger show through my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I could never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect. And then, let me be frank with you. If Mion-san were suspected of a handful of incidents, what would you think? Suspected incidents? You can't just say terrible stuff like that on a whim. Then it would be a misunderstanding, of course. Mion may say some dangerous things, but she's not the kind of person who would do something so awful. Maebara-san, keep your voice down. We are in a library. Oishi-san shushed me. In a state of heightened excitement as I was, I wouldn't be calm so easily. Please calm down. Otherwise, I'll have to get on the full effect of my banana suit. As I said before, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of power in this region, for better or worse. So if anything happens, they would be immediately suspect. I'd appreciate it if you understood that.
Well, I understand what he's trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okonomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is his successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all? That's the only reason they're suspecting her?
I'm just doing my job here, not to doubt Mion-san or anything, but to clear up any suspicions surrounding her. Please think of it like that.
He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He was the definition of shrewd, unfair adult. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence I'd met him. Oishi-san, did you need something from me?
Yes, I do, Keiichi Maebara-san.
He answered in an absent tone of voice.
Mion is being suspected of something, and you came to hear from a friend of hers. Me. Is that it?
No,
Oh.
I think they swapped.
Oh, I swapped it.
Mion is being suspected of something, and you came to hear from a friend of hers. Me. Is that it?
No, that ain't it. I ain't come to talk to a friend of Mion Sonozaki-san. I came here to talk to Keiichi Maebara-san. Probably would have bothered you if I'd visited you at your house, huh?
To me, what do the police want with me?
How did you know he would be here? Unless Shion really did lay it up for him, but Shion doesn't seem to like him, so I don't know why she would do that.
Funny detail. Do you remember who Oishi said he was when he was calling Keiichi's house last arc?
The bookstore.
He's just downstairs for the library. That's the closest thing he can think of.
That's the closest thing you can think of is the bookstore? Oh my god.
Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me at its target, my mood immediately turned foul.
Nah, you don't need to be so tense. Calm down and just answer a few questions for me.
Am I being questioned?
Let's call it a chat with a guy you happen to run into.
Oishi-san freely suggested that I relax.
And here's your friendly reminder that, at least in America, if the cops ask to talk to you, don't. Just don't. If you're not under... I won't tell you the correct legal way to go about it, but you don't have to say anything. Anything you do say can only harm you. Don't do it.
That said, behind his eyes was a light which I could only see sometimes that was as sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me into an interrogation room or something.
I don't know, push your luck. Make him force his hand.
That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought.
You had a wrong good time at the Watanagashi festival last night, ain't you?
Don't beat around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now.
Last night during the festival, did you see Jiro Tomateki-san and Miyo Takano-san?
Ugh.
Is it really them again? Interesting. So that means that's a lot more deliberate. I thought there might have been some variances in we didn't know quite who it was until the day of, but no, it seems like this was pretty well known.
And yet, it seems like something must be different.
Yeah, obviously something's different, but
Well, remember last time he was suspicious that it was Rena and came to Keiichi about that.
this
time he's suspicious it's Mio.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know. I still think they found Mio dead. I still am not convinced that whose body did you find, Oishi? Just come on, come out and say it.
Could plainly feel myself give a start.
Oh, where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are.
He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look.
What do you mean you didn't have to look? Look at them. What are they? I want to know what they are.
Who knows? I might have seen them around. I don't remember. Was that the same question for the second time today? I gave the same answer for the second time, too.
Oh, your memories are blurry, huh? You couldn't have possibly been drinking or anything.
Here, too, I got the same answer I had heard from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing that Mion did? The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it. I'll ask you again. Did you see Jiro Tomateki-san and Mio Takano-san at the festival last night? His tone was soft. Definitely soft tone, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That's exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit that I had. I see. I just thought maybe I'd get a different answer if I asked you a second time. Wow.
The exact same interaction twice. First with Mion, then with Oishi.
Yeah, this is fucking weird. I can't,
How could you not get paranoid if this was the interaction you were having?
right? It's like, we'll call her Mion this morning, really wanted to make sure that under questioning that, really wanted to see what Keiichi would do under questioning. Again, pretty sure it was Shion, but we'll see. I'm too scared to look him in the eyes. I'll change the question. Come, Maebara-san, relax. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them as if trying to give me a massage. It mostly just hurt, though. Still, why would you ask me the same things as Mion? If he's asking the same things, the next question must be. On the same night at the festival, did you see Shion Sonozaki-san? Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wonder what that sound was, and when I looked down, I saw that it was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it. I'm sorry, I may have seen her, but, she looks just like Mion. Might have mistaken the two. Nah, well, that can't be now, can it? Suddenly, Oishi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I want to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion and Shion-san wear completely different clothing. You wouldn't mistake the two so easily, I'd think. Maebara-san.
And yet we've established that there is one guy who absolutely would mistake them so easily, and it's Keiichi.
It is absolutely Keiichi.
But unfortunately, no, sir, I am just that stupid is not going to cut it as an excuse.
Oh, his voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. Why are Mion and Oishi-san both asking about last night? I was sneaking to the storehouse so bad. I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomatake-san casually said to check it out too, so... Even Shion, if she hadn't encouraged me. No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gotten into the forbidden storehouse. You're the most at fault? Not the person who did the whole half of the B&E, the B part? Oishi-san,
Oishi-san, I think that's our cue to get out of here.
A young man wearing a suit came into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Oishi-san's subordinate. Oh, so it is. Closing time already, huh? I hadn't realized it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed had started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated and overwhelmed I couldn't even hear it. Well then, Maebara-kun, we're at... That's interesting that they bring up a situation where he couldn't hear something very audible and obvious. I don't think it would happen, because we've talked about this, I don't know if on this series before, about how our kettle will sometimes, it has a really long and loud thing, and we'll sometimes just block it out.
Yep, because you're just so used to hearing it and so focused on
Right.
other stuff that you just filter it.
You're right. I don't think that's the kind of thing that would happen with repeated loud banging that you weren't expecting or acclimated to.
And that
'Cause
not
we-
just Keiichi, but multiple people.
Exactly. I just want to, because they brought it up there and it kind of teasing it as an explanation. I don't buy it. Reason we filter that out is because we hear it every day and we know to expect it.
Yep.
Yeah, Keiichi, unless Keiichi is somehow expecting that, then I don't accept that. Well then, Maebara-kun, we're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'd like to talk with you more about this at your leisure when we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around. Oh, right, Maebara-san. What? What is it? Those 2 questions I asked you before? You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? Right? Just so you know, you saw them all yesterday. We're walking along the foyers, having quite a pleasant time. Near the stone steps, I saw you with my own eyes.
Just one more thing.
He is doing the Columbo, ain't he? Is he meant to be Columbo? Is that who he's... I know Columbo, there's this weird fixation with Columbo in Japanese culture, but
Is there?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it got weirdly popular over there.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a whole thing, there's a Final Fantasy character that's just Columbo.
I did not know any of that.
Yeah. That's actually a thing. Yeah, we'll have to look it up sometime. But yeah, that's actually a thing. I caught my breath and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. He knew when he was testing me. We'll meet again and have a good year now. I sat there like a rock, unmoving until I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. Well, that sucked.
So
I've been here the whole time.
So that was interesting.
Didn't like that.
We learned a lot today.
Not a fan of whatever was going on there. I think the last 2 episodes have gone really long, so we'll call this one here. But yeah, we learned a lot in today's show, didn't we?
We did.
I'm having such a good time playing this game. Are you having a fun time?
I sure am.
I hope you're all having a fun time as well, watching along at home. Make sure to fill out your predictions in the copybooks that were passed out before the episode began. We'll see you all next time.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.